Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, wanting just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning. Good morning. I see we got Melinda in here. We got Kathy in here. We got Belinda in here. We got Georgie in here. Welcome, welcome. Georgie, why have you not joined? You got the link. There is. So I have not done a stream in a couple days. I put out some YouTube shorts and some videos just because I had things going that I had things going that I had to tend to. We are doing the 5K, and so we did a bunch of meetings about that on Sunday. I was in a couple hours worth, and then I've got a meeting tomorrow on it, and then I've got another meeting on Thursday on it, and it's not until March. So I already know this thing's going to be, yeah, I already know this thing is going to be a bear. Brett and Therese, good morning. I'm glad that Christmas in the Creek was a success. Very happy for the people of Otter Creek. It, you know, it's good when you get people who are inspired. You do one thing and then people just want to keep doing good stuff. Hey, Kathy. It's a very positive thing when stuff like that happens. I got to share this to the group. But yeah, did I put the hold on, I gotta look at the website. There was some merchandise that I was gonna put up. I don't know if I put it up. All products. No, I didn't put it up. I meant to. Okay, I'll put it up. It's the thing where I said it, here, I'll show you guys. I'll pull it up. This is what I'm gonna make as a shirt so you guys can see it. I don't know. No, here we go. So yeah, just a shirt with a rope and it says "Don't rope me into your BS." And there's a lot of people in these Facebook groups who, they have agendas, they have things that they want to do, and they try to pull you into, you know, their beefs. And I mean, I don't, the thing is, there are people who are going to watch this and they're going to internalize it. But the thing is, it's not just them. This has been one thing I've noticed throughout this whole thing. A lot of people on Facebook, they they live for the drama, and that's why a lot of this stuff I don't like. I might laugh about, but I really don't care about. And you know, as people know, I was removed as a mod from Shady Bunch. Didn't care. Doesn't bother me. I don't need to be a mod. I'm not one of these people. Whoever wants to be a mod. Uh, but it was over stupid stuff. Really stupid. Uh, Not even anything that had to do with what the hells. Oh, and a lot of these things are happening again. Those groups attract a lot of toxic. Well, it's like I would equate it to like our VFWs and stuff. There are people who they have agendas, and I always worry about this, and because I've come across it with this show. I've had people who've reached out to me and said, "Oh, you had so and so on your show. They're a faker. They said they did this, this, and this," and want me to go on a, uh, like debunk the person who's been on my show. All I When someone comes on my show, if they're a veteran, all I do, I take them at their word. Um, well, come on. I kind of have an idea of what we're going to talk about beforehand. Uh, and if I get the thing that I don't trust them, then I'm very strict about what people come on. And you guys know, uh, that I'm about to do a story about some of the people defaming Jeremy and George. And the one individual likes to come into the chat, and I said, "Yeah, like he had words with me because he was like, you said you didn't have me, or you were okay with me putting my story in the chat." I said, "You're welcome in the chat," is what I said. I didn't block, because then he claimed I blocked him. I was like, "Look, I didn't block you. My mods know not to block anybody, and if I ever find out that my mods block someone without me knowing, they're gone as a mod. I don't play games with that stuff." Um, yeah, like my rule is no personal attacks. If people who are haters want to come in and say some BS in the chat, I don't care. Go ahead, do what you need to do. Uh, because I'm not like I'm conscious enough whenever and I'll when you're in the military and you're fighting against an enemy, you always need to give that enemy somewhere to go. When you set up an ambush, you don't you don't surround them. You leave an avenue of escape, somewhere for them to push through. Now, when you're smart, you put other weapon systems on that avenue, so they're under fire even as they're escaping. Uh, you never want to leave your enemy without any hope. You never want to surround them because then it turns into a siege and you're encouraging them to not just fight to the death, but to use any means necessary. And that backfires. It backfires so many times. You'll get people who fight to the death. And at that point, it's not about them winning or losing. Like, oh, they'll let you take them out, but they're going to take out a bunch of your resources. So I'm always cognizant of that. Like, I'm never going to, like, as long as they're not breaking the rules, they're welcome in the chat. And I've been that way. And I'm going to remain that way. But someone blocked me for no good reason, maybe a time off, not sure. Like, they are allowed to time someone out. I'll say that. They are allowed to time someone out, but that's not blocking someone. You know, if someone's being a distraction, they can do that. But that's not a block. But I as you guys see, whenever the haters come in, I put their things at the bottom of the screen. I am not running from their comments. I want to highlight their comments and show how ridiculous they are. I want to address it and confront it. That's what I do. So yeah. So there was all this drama with that, and I am just I'm not playing this drama game. People in these chat groups, people who are in these Facebook groups, like, no, I'm not playing it. And if you're gonna play it, fine, stay the hell away from me. I've made that clear so many times. So there was several chatting groups that I was in that I left this morning. I'm tired of it. I'm fine. I'm fine. And this is the whole thing. You know, I'm conscious of my mental health. I'm conscious of my feelings. When you get into that, you are trying to get reactions out of people. And it's a dopamine release for yourself. I don't need that. I really don't. I'll do jokes and stuff like that. That's where I get my dopamine release. And if someone's trolling, I'll troll right back. That's where I get my dopamine release. But I don't need to like I don't need to cause any issues. You know? Like if someone's got a problem with me, okay, then go away. I don't want to hear it. Just go. But some of these people want to have arguments and stuff. And it comes from, and this is years now of therapy, it comes from they want to be heard. And I've come to terms with I don't need to be heard. I don't need to be heard. AVA is the troll patrol. But yeah, that's, I don't need to be heard. I don't need, if someone has a problem with me, I don't need to give my 2 cents. I'll just be like, okay, well, get away from me then. Stop coming to me. Don't bring the drama to me. So, yeah. And I'm not going to play this, oh, this person does this. This person does this. And a lot of people, and I mean there's a lot of people all weekend. And by yesterday, I had had enough. Like, and last night, I got roped into a chat. I was asked, hey, can we talk about this? And I said, I will come and I will talk, but I'm not talking about these. And I went into this group, and immediately they started talking about the thing I told them that I would not. So I was not my normal self. I was not talkative. And I ended up just very quickly saying, okay, well, I've got to go because I don't like that too. Don't false flag me. Don't say, oh, no, 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 we're not going to discuss that. Then when you pull me into discussion, immediately that's what you go to. I've already given you my boundary. I'm not discussing that. So that's people have a lot of problems with that. When you say those boundaries and you say, I am not going to get involved in this. And they immediately want to, you know, it, it's a narcissism thing. They need people on their side. Me, I don't need people on my side. I've I've been as I opened up last week with a lot of this stuff. I've been fighting a lot of this stuff on my own. Other than I've got my attorney, I've got a couple friends, and I've got my therapist. But for the most part, like here where I live, I'm all alone. I've got a couple friends, but I don't burden them with the stuff that's going on with the legal stuff in my life. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine because when you know that you are right, that's all you need. I don't need people on my side. I know I've got you guys on my side, Lilu, but I mean, you guys still haven't even seen the whole story. Like, yeah, you guys have it. There's still stuff out there, but I don't need to. That's what Lynette needs. And Bruce, they need to show her side. They think that's they think that's what the issue is that people haven't seen her side. No, people have seen her side. They just don't agree. Um, People don't need to see my side. They don't. I know I'm right, and I'm now in a position where before I was letting things go. I was doing things in my day-to-day life, like with my son and stuff like that, to where I knew I was centered, that emotionally I was centered. And that's, I've talked with you guys about the discussions I've had with my son about what it means to be a man. And I was perfectly fine with that. But it became clear that there are people who will never leave me alone. So now I have to legally take steps to where they leave me alone. So that's where I sit. But yeah, you get a lot of these people who, they need people on their side. And it's like, that doesn't help you at the end of the day. It really doesn't. All you need is the law on your side. All you need is um, your morality. Like I've said this several times. I've always needed that when I look in the mirror, I like the guy that I see. That's what I need. And if you're not operating that way, you're in for a long road because there's going to be a point where you're faced with that. And if you don't like the person that you are, you've got no one to blame but yourself. Yeah, the haters don't care what damage they try and cause. True. They're agents of chaos. I can be an agent of chaos, but mine is just going to affect their emotions, nothing else. Uh, yeah, I wish a lot of these people they just need to set aside their drama, but it's all, there are people in this who want to be close to Jeremy. Like there are people who want that. There are people who want to build their channels. There are people with that. Um, I mean, I've already said my goal always for this channel was 5,000 subs. I knew if I had 5,000 people watching, I that was my goal. Like then I knew I was successful, and we've hit that. And if this channel doesn't grow anymore, I am perfectly happy. But I've always said this show is never about me. It's about veterans, military, and their families. So when I do this show, I will do a great show if there's one person watching. Because even if I help that one person, I've done my job. And that's why I don't like I'll look at the analytics, but I don't obsess over them. Like I was in some chats with people and they were like, "Oh, I lost 4 subscribers today." That happens. Some people just YouTube unsubscribes, they unsubscribe. I wish YouTube would do some things like have a way to like send them a message so that like an automated message so they know unsubscribed. Just so if it's YouTube doing it, if they're like, no, I want to watch the skipper, then they come back. I wish that were in place, but beyond that, it doesn't bother me. Sure is dropping. Sorry about that. Someone was calling me. Yeah, Shara. What Shara is doing right now takes a lot of courage. She got burned by a source, and it sucks when that happens. It really does. Um, that's why when I'm always careful about when people come to me with this story, I'll ask questions, and I'll ask questions, and um, uh, I'm trying to think of how to word this. I just want to know, is everything matching up? And I've learned that over time. I've gotten burned by sources in the past. And I've learned, luckily, it hasn't been to a thing too bad to where I had to worry about um, getting sued. But I've had to do corrections to stories saying, oh, our source told us this. And that wasn't true. And that happens. It does. That's why I try to get things in writing, because I can, if they lied and someone were to try to sue me, I can be like, well, right here's where they told it. They put it in writing. I had no reason to believe they lied. Legal Vices, yeah. A lot of people were sending me that yesterday. I did not know Legal Vices. I never talked with them. I retweeted him a couple times. I did enjoy him and Megan on stream. Um, but I didn't know him, never interacted with him. So I know people want me to go live and talk about it. And the thing is, like, I think that would be disrespectful. Um, I never, I didn't hate the guy or anything like that. The content of his that I saw, I really enjoyed. But for me to go in and like put on a false front of crying and, oh, Legal Vices is gone, that's not me. And you always have to be true to yourself. Again, looking the person in the mirror, be true to yourself. Um, I was sad when I heard it. I was definitely sad for Megan, very sad for Megan, because I know Megan really liked Legal Vices, and he gave solid legal analysis. And I noticed that Legal Mindset also talked about it, and I really enjoy Legal Mindset, and I know they had a friendship, as well as Nate the lawyer, and all those people I've been following for years, and so it's very sad when when that occurs. But people wanted me to go live or put up a message. I did respond to a couple of tweets with, I always enjoyed his content, stuff like this. He'll be missed, stuff like that. But for me to go and do a live, that would be very disingenuous and I think very disrespectful to his family. But yeah, I know a lot of people they're trying to get him a play button. Go and subscribe to his channel. You know, I think that would be a great way to honor him for his family, especially with all the BS that happened this year with his YouTube channel being taken down. And that I was a part of. Like I did retweet stuff of to YouTube and to YouTube community to give him his channel back. So it was very sad. When I mourn, I get withdrawn in thought, get quiet. Yeah, I. It really depends for me. Um, some deaths really do affect me, you know, and strongly, even if it's someone I don't know. Sometimes I had people when I left active duty. They wanted me to become a fireman or an EMT, and they were trying to talk me into stuff, and I knew I couldn't do that job. Uh, and it wasn't it's not that I'm scared of blood or anything like that. Like that I got no problem with. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I was on duty one night, command duty. So sitting in when you're on command duty, you are sitting in for the general. And there was a death at the hospital. Uh, a it was a baby, and I had to step outside and get my bearings because I hate hurt kids. I can't take that. Now, when it's my own kid, and like when my son's been sick and stuff like that, I immediately, go into parent mode, and I can take care of the problem. Like if my son's throwing up, it's not gonna bother me. People are like, "Oh, I can't take throw up." It's not gonna bother me. It's my own kids throw up. But yeah, like, but when I hear about someone losing a child, that will affect me emotionally. Uh, I love being a dad. Love it, love it, love it. That is my favorite title. Uh, and yeah, I couldn't do I couldn't do a lot of the stuff that people were, trying to get me to do. Hey, Mussy. Um, but yeah, um, so yeah, and I'm very conscious of what affects me, what doesn't, and um, you know, I had people who were like angry at me that I wouldn't become a firefighter. My grandfather was a firefighter. I respect that job. I do. Um, but I can't do it. And that's just the way it is. Sorry, I'm just getting caught up in the chat. So yeah, it hurt kids. I can't do. um, but I know my limitations. What was it? They had in the Matrix, know thyself. I I I know myself, and it's funny. Like people always get mad at me for the things they think I should be doing that I don't do. Like there are people mad at me about the nonprofit not doing more things, and there's a reason I haven't done a lot of these things. A lot of these things, as you, I haven't streamed since Saturday. I think that was my last stream. It's Tuesday. That's how much time doing this race takes up. So none of this stuff is like, oh, I can just do it. It's just me, guys. And so people who are like, you should be doing this for veterans. Well, I agree. That could help veterans. I'm not at a position where I can do that. You know, I hope to be there one day, but there's a lot of things that need to happen from now till then. I'm gonna be right back, guys. I need more coffee. Okay, I'm back. In AVA, I'm gonna talk a little bit about some of the stuff we were talking about yesterday. Um, yeah, yeah, it's funny. People, you have to know yourself. You have to do what's right for you. I um, I was having a discussion with AVA yesterday about um, business stuff, and I was just asking him questions just to know where his headspace is because um, you know, like there's a lot of people who are like, you should sell this on your show, and we'll talk about stuff. Which I am going to do. Vagination Rocks. I do have this stuff, and I'll get it posted, and we'll start selling them. But one, there has to be. I've always said there, people have to want it for me to sell it. Like me selling a product that people don't want is a waste of my time. It's a waste of their time. But people have said, no, I'll buy a Vagination Rock from you. So okay, I'll sell them. Get out of here, cat. He's just trying. This cat has just been like trying to get on my nerves this morning. Um, but yeah, so labor intensive things, like I'm already a busy guy. So I have to be very, very careful of that stuff. Um, and like, especially when it comes to business stuff, I am all about chasing the money, not the dream. I, at the end of the day, this channel, if it doesn't take off, I am perfectly fine. But if I find ways to make money through this channel, I'm happy. Uh, Tupac said, "Fuck the fame, give me the money." That's me. That's my motto. Like, I want if I can give my kids something, and build something that's going to last beyond my life, I'm be happy with that. Hey, Georgie.
Good morning.
And what's funny is as me doing all these business things, everything I'm doing is about passive income, as passive as possible. And a lot of people think you have to work to make money. You don't. And I'm looking at a couple different things in the next few months that will pull me in money. I'm never going to get rich off it, but it'll be passive income, which frees me up to do other stuff. How goes it, Georgie?
It's morning. I had to get my first cup of coffee in before I joined.
I was mad I didn't get to listen to you and Coop yesterday because I was so busy.
I wasn't on with Coop yesterday. I had an appointment yesterday morning.
No, or maybe it was just Coop was live yesterday then.
It was Coop and Mama Coop.
Okay. Because yeah, I saw that they were live, but I had so much yesterday. Come out of these meetings.
AVA, Vag Nation, we are what we eat. Hey, don't give me no ideas. I'll create one for him.
So I did come up with a great idea during our meetings on the race. Because, we want people that when you sign up for the 5K, that you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Coop is here.
Hey, how come my song didn't get played?
I need to put your song on the thing if you're okay with that song.
Yeah, I just had to go listen
Okay.
to it again to remember what it was about.
Let's see if the audience likes it. I'm thinking as the intro song for Georgie is the intro to These Boots Are Made for Walking.
Oh, that's why. Holy shit. Okay. Good morning, people.
Good morning,
Hi,
Coop.
Coopy.
I was wondering why I was hearing everything double. No shit. I had a window open playing you. I pulled a Georgie.
You did.
Good morning. Good morning.
But yeah, so we were doing these meetings on the 5K, and I want people, we want people to have a T-shirt. I told them, I said, look, this is our first year. The T-shirt doesn't have to be the greatest thing ever. Like the fact that they're getting a T-shirt, I think is key. I also was looking at like those backpacks, the cinch bags, and getting those as the bag to put all their goodies in, right? And we've been talking about what else we need. Well, we need medals. And I came up with this, and I am in love with this idea. And so you guys tell me what you think. When people sign up and they run the race, their medal is going to be a set of dog tags.
That's cool. That's
cool. That's very cool. Hi, everybody.
Good morning, Muzzy.
It's afternoon for me, but never mind. I'm half dying here, as you can hear.
Well, you should be in bed sleeping.
Oh, I've tried to lay down. My neck's sore. I've got a split and oh God. So I'm sitting up for a wee while to see if I can somehow get my balance. Sitting on my bum, trying to get my balance. Now that sounds weird, but dog tags sounds really. It's the symbolism of the race, who's in the race, and why the race has been done.
And here's the other thing. With the race, I don't want any money from it. We're going to give it to another charity. For me, the value is we're calling it the Roadrunner Dunes 5K. And for me, the value is being able to have it say Veteran Nation presents or Roadrunner Dunes 5K presented by Veteran Nation. That's the value for me. And so
it's bringing people together also.
Yeah, we were trying, because I do like the idea of doing it on March 4th, because then we could have done the play on words like March 4th, like marching 4th. But yeah, it's just not doable that day because it's a weekday. So we're doing it, I believe, March 15th. But we're working on the artwork now, get flyers and stuff. And I will set something up to where people who would like to pay for a veteran or military member to run, will have that. So you can pay for someone to run in the race.
Would it be, right, my thoughts just came in my head, Mike, be possible to also put something in for raise money for veterans that are homeless and put it in to get funding and things like that?
So yes and no. The problem is people want me to do that with my nonprofit. It's just me. I don't have the people to do that. But we are still doing that. So a friend of mine does have a nonprofit that does that. He does have a little bit more structure for that. So I approached him for him to be the charity that we give money to. And he said, "Well, actually what I'd like to do is for people online and for you guys, he wants to do an online 5K in conjunction with it." So I was like, "Sure, I'm good with that. If that's what you want to do." So um, that's what he intends on doing, and I think that'll be great.
Is there a way something else is just being popped in my head? Sorry, I'm getting information from, and it's just like somebody's just randomly putting it in my head. Is there a way of certain army items that can be auctioned off to help funds for homeless and
Um,
things like that? You like think people who's all like in their home and so forth.
um, I mean, there's stuff out there, but to know what people are going to use is kind of a difficult thing. I've done a video that's on the channel about military gear that civilians should be adopting. Um, I've already done that video, and people should check that out. I think people would be impressed at some of the stuff that we actually do have.
Have you got the
But
link you can put up for us, Mike?
I'd have to find it, but yeah. Um, but yeah, there is stuff out there that I think civilians should. And I'll give you an example. There's a company out there called Right in the Rain, and it's spelled RITE, and it's a series of paper and pens that you can be out. It can be a torrential downpour, and you can still be writing, and the paper's not going to get soggy and collapse. And when I worked for construction, we were constantly outside. The weather will affect your stuff. That's a product I think civilians could use every day that the military has absolutely adopted. Um, but um, hey, DJ Radis, we're not doing that. We're not doing personal attacks in the chat. So stop right now. I've already talked to Spawn Trooper. I told him I'm not getting into this. I've walked away, and I'm not doing that. But yeah, there are products out there, but I can talk about them. But as far as I don't know if I can get social engineering getting people to actually use them. I can recommend them. One thing, but we're still not doing that. Like I'm not doing this back and forth in the comments. Not doing it. If anyone has an issue, they can, if they want to know, go to Spawn Trooper, go to his channel. I'm not getting involved in it, and this channel is not going to get into these type of things. But yeah.
Could there also be things available, like little packages, written things on how to like survival sort of thing?
I mean, there are, but what do people want? That it's just like when people ask me, "Oh, you should sell stuff." I don't know if people will buy it. So, and it's very labor intensive for me to put it together. Like me doing the board game, that's been very labor intensive. I'm still not done with it, but I'm doing that because I think, like, even if people don't want it, I think those that do, a very small percentage that do, I think will love it. So that's why I am still working on the board game, still putting all that together.
You gotta
But
enjoy it also doing it so that it's not really time consuming. Big words.
exactly, and that's what I was talking about, passive income, doing these things passively. Um, like the Vagination Rocks, they're labor intensive, but not incredibly. So that's why I think I'm going to do those. Um, and it's they're funny too. Um, the For instance, at the race, I was asked, would I be willing to do a silent auction? And I said yes. I said, here's what I would want. So we're doing the race. I'm going to give the money to another charity, and I'm pretty sure I have the charity picked out. But if another charity wants to come in and run that silent auction, and they get the proceeds from it, great, great. It's just, again, I'm gathering volunteers now for the race, and every volunteer I get is going to be dedicated to the race. But if this other charity wants to do the silent auction, that's the meeting I've got Thursday, is with another charity. If they want to do the silent auction and dedicate their personnel to it, amazing. I think that's a great thing.
You
So
can't
that's,
spread yourself thin.
yeah, I can't do everything. All my years in logistics, I learned there are limitations to me, and you have to delegate.
Yeah. But is there like people that come in the chat? Is there that people around you that could somewhat take some of that load from you if you asked?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do the race at all unless I had someone who was helping me. And I've got a Navy veteran, and her and we've worked on other stuff previously, and her and we just started talking. She knows about a couple things going on in my life, some of the legal stuff, and she just approached me to say, "Hey, how are you doing?" We were chatting, and I was like, "Look, I'm great. I put everything into this show, and this is my way of healing." And Squid, if you work in logistics, you're not a real vet, right? Oh, I remember when they were saying that, like only military with combat action ravens are real veterans. Stupid. That's like,
It's you,
but
you've been
she was the
through
one.
so much.
She was asking me. This veteran was asking me, "Well, what do you want to do with Veteran Nation?" And I started telling her my nice to haves, and I said, "I want to do a race. We have a military base right here. There's no races." And she was like, "Let's do one." And I said, "Well, if you're as dedicated to making this happen as I am, then I'll do it. I don't have anyone to help me." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm on board." So it's been her and I, and we've got a couple other people who said they'll help, and they've said after the holidays they'll get really into it. And but her and I, we're moving, and having someone to rely on, that if I can't do something, I can call her and say, "Hey, we need to do this," and she's like, "Got it." That's key to every event.
I have a question again. So these things just keep popping in my head, and they're great. Right. See with the race and how you're laying the race out, is there a way, or it's just popped into my head, is there a way of having speakers around where the race is being done and have like a couple of comedians and just um like egging them on and um like just making laugh and just getting the bar off it going, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. And so we are going to have people there. I don't know if we're going to do speeches or anything, other than the people, like the charity that we give, um, the 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 charity that we're going to give the money to. We're going to give them time to speak. But as far as like bringing up a war hero or anything like that, I don't think that's going to be the venue for it. I could do that in another event. But yeah, and I do want to address very quickly. Yeah, Squid Pro Quo, her saying that about the combat vet, someone came into her stream and said that only people who've seen actual combat are vets. And her and I, we were laughing about it because that means 99% of the veterans in the world are not veterans.
See, I call bullshit on that. I mean, anyone that joined the military served their country, period. It doesn't matter if you fought or if you sat behind a desk. You served. You performed a function and you served our country. You are a veteran.
Here's what's sad. You will sometimes see like attitudes like that actually in the military. I had a Lance Corporal who told his corporal that he didn't need to listen to him because he had never been deployed. And I was like, "Oh, bring that Marine up here. Bring him up here." And my gunny was like, "Oh my God, what's Captain Arthur going to do?" And I told him, I said, "Oh, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call the G1 and I'm going to get you deployed because you only need to listen to leaders who've been deployed. So don't worry. I will put you around leaders who are all deployed and you won't have to worry about following orders." And this kid drained, because I mean, this was still height of Afghanistan, and he was suddenly scared. And I, finished telling him, told him to get back to work. And the gunny was like, "So how does this work?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't have that kind of power. I'm just trying to scare the kid."
It takes a lot of cogs on that wheel to make the wheel go around. And not all of them do the same job. You know that, Mike.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
growing
when-
up in the family I did with the veterans I did, nah, if you signed up, you served your country in one way or another. You're a vet.
I knew a Marine who was he literally was the R&R Marine. He worked for Marine Corps Community Services at the gym, and he gave out gym equipment. That was his job. I will still never put down that Marine. Like, I know people are like, "Oh my God, that's the most cake job in the Marine Corps." It's really not when you find out all the things that Marine has to do, and that's what people don't understand. Like KDMC talks about cooks. I've had people be down on cooks. I've had plenty of cooks work for me. They've never actually cooked in the Marine Corps. They are in charge of inspecting the chow hall. But I've given them so many jobs outside of their MOS, and they've fulfilled them well.
my uncle grew from rank to rank. He was deployed everywhere. He went Germany and so forth. And he went up the ranks and he ended up being a major. And I loved it when he came home because he came home in his uniform. Because the first thing he did was come to our house. And he looked so polished. He looked so fine. He was so soft spoken. He was someone with integrity, and he made changes in the army because there were so many of the guys that looked up to him. Like he had his disciplinary. Like if you messed up, and you heard it because he did have a back. But it looked so it's like all vets. Like you went through so much, you trained, you like a lot of people don't know the ins and outs. And
Sorry.
so
Whoa.
Sorry,
Go
getting,
for Skittles.
getting ready with Squid. someone's coming to look at the house at 11, so I have to like be up and out, and I have to run to the store before my live. So the funny part about that comment is like they left it, and I literally said like you're the stupidest person. I can't remember what I exactly said, but I said you're the stupidest person on the internet today. Congratulations. What about all the people who stay back who have not been served in wartime? Like I don't know, between 95 and 2001.
Yep.
Like what about all the people who are back here making sure that everything is good to go? Are you saying that the people who train every day but never deploy aren't vets? And then I sent her the definition of a veteran from like military.com or something like that.
You want to know what's funny? Is we joke around, we'll use the term ASVAB waiver. ASVAB is the test that you have to take to pass to get into the military. And if you fail it, you need a waiver to be still join the military. So you're normally not.
That's when you become a Marine.
Well, what's funny is in all of the military, the lowest, the one MOS that takes the lowest ASVAB score is motor transport driver. So truck driver. However, what was the most dangerous job in Iraq and Afghanistan due to IEDs? Truck driver.
Well,
So-
it doesn't. Well, what I'm about to say might be offensive to some people, but although it takes a skill to drive a truck, there is not a skill like it's not as skillful as far as mental ability. It's a different kind of skill. Takes a bravery that it's like when your brain, like your level of intelligence goes up, your bravery goes down. And like there are certain jobs that take not a lot of brain power but a lot of bravery, and there are jobs that take a lot of brain power but you don't have to be brave to do them.
Oh, I used to get motor T underneath me, so trust me, I knew that there were ASVAB waivers. I didn't always have the smartest guys, but they were good at their job.
Since you're a Marine, you might have heard this phrase, IOIAs. Do you know what that stands for?
No.
If you ain't ordnance, you ain't shit. That's what I live with. I live with someone who built bombs.
We had tracks and we had yas. You ain't tracks, you ain't shit.
Yeah, IOIAs is a big thing with ordies in the Navy. And I live with one. Who went to Buds for 6 weeks, by the way. I think that's where he learned to troll people. He spent 6 weeks at Buds.
My collateral duty was always safety. And on my safety binder one time, I put safety were essentially recon, just better.
Wow.
Only because my boss was a grunt and I knew it would piss him off.
Can I give a little joy in here? I'm not sure if everybody knows, but Yoda got married.
Yep. Yoda on Thanksgiving.
Oh, congratulations.
That's why he
Yoda.
hasn't been around. I announced that on my channel like Black Friday.
Yeah, he just put pictures up on Messenger.
Really? Yoda?
Yeah,
Yoda and Uncle Frank. Yoda got married on Thanksgiving, and Uncle Frank was the officiant.
I will announce something that I'm going to be doing. I'm flying to Ohio for New Year's, and you guys will. The day I fly, I'll post what I'm doing. But I'm going to be wearing a very special shirt that if you guys watch a TV show, you'll know what I'm doing and you'll find it hilarious. But I'm not going to give up. I don't want to give up my idea and have people steal it. But just be on the lookout for that just after Christmas.
Get my
Hi,
baby.
little one. Hi,
Baby
baby
squid.
squid. How are you? Oh,
Sorry,
hi,
Mike. You just
honey.
got overrun with the baby squid.
She's
Sorry.
good for years.
The cutest baby on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Mike, sorry, Mike. There you go.
Too.
Hello, baby. How's Auntie Mussie's girl? How's
She's like,
Auntie
I'm on.
Mussie's girl?
Can you hang up that
You're
towel?
so big, so cute.
Do you
You
guys do
already
the
washed
elf?
your hands.
Nice
You're not doing it
and
again.
washed. Nice
We're
and
in the-
clean.
Yeah, as soon as she steps on the her stool in the bathroom, she either has to brush her teeth or wash her hands. And she'll stand and go hands, 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 hands until I give her soap and let her wash her hands. Even though she might have already washed her hands 5 seconds ago.
Oh, we got Astrid in here this morning. She was an operations specialist deployed on a LHA 5, the Peleliu, which a lot of Marines get stationed on those.
They're amphibs as well.
2,000 Marines and 800 sailors. Sorry, Astrid, that you had to deal with so many Marines. I was only aboard the Nashville for 2 days and 1 night.
Lucky you.
I didn't have the privilege to do anything like that.
But Squid, you'll appreciate this. I had to sleep in enlisted berthing, so I know what it's like to be in the sardine can.
3 high tin cans.
I saw where someone bought so the chips. It's not just bunk beds. There's 3 of them, and
Yeah.
someone bought one of those things and put it in an Airbnb, and
Oh
literally,
no.
yeah.
Oh, and you sleep on top of your stuff. You're in a coffin rack. So if you don't lock your rack at night and you piss somebody off, you might be triced up in the morning. Which means you can't get out of your rack until someone comes and puts it down. And all your stuff might be missing too. Girl, I swear, I just did your hair and you literally just
Have
That's not how
I heard it right that there is shenanigans that goes on in the army and the navy when like you do something wrong, like to your
payback's
comrades?
a bitch. It's where I learned to torture people. I'm pretty sure some of this hazing that happened in the military back before it went woke, is against the Geneva Convention.
Like I've seen so many programs and films, and I've always wondered if what they've portrayed that's happened, and what the shenanigans that goes on, that it really happens.
I do have to end the stream in about 5 minutes, so just letting everyone know.
All right,
Sorry,
I have to get off here anyway. So,
I just wanted to ask that question. Hey, baby, how minute?
we'll have to do a whole stream on military hazing. Because there's stories there.
There's a lot of stories.
Hello, darling.
Going all the way back to boot camp, there's stories. If you got the division in trouble, you got hazed at night. That's my. Can I see that? Thank you. Here.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait until she learns makeup.
No, she already did. That's what this is. Yesterday she took a nice black or like the darkest color in one of my palettes and went down the side of her face, like over her eye. Like here, Angel, close your eyes. There. Look how pretty you are.
Ah,
No.
pretty.
It's Mommy's turn. It's Mommy's turn. Thank you. We have to hide it.
So
It's
pretty.
otherwise I won't be able to find it. Look at his hair. Look at his hair. And then she takes it and she goes like this. And I'm like, girl,
Do you put it up in a ponytail or anything?
she won't let me. This is what she does if I try to do it. That's why her hair always looks like a hot mess. is because she does it. Every time that I try to brush it, I get it nice and smooth, and she just goes through and makes it look like I've never done anything with her hair in her entire life. And then people on the internet, judge me. Don't you do your kid's hair? I do, but she's 2. You are.
So, Mike, do you have a link or anything to where people will be able to help with donations and things like that for the race?
I will be creating that where if people want to sponsor a runner, they'll be able to do that.
Okay.
All right, Mikey. I'm gonna say
All right,
goodbye, guys. I got to get ready for
Have a good one.
11 o'clock. Thanks for having me on. You guys are awesome, baby squid. Bye.
Say bye. Say we'll see you at noon. She's gonna curl her eyelashes. Apparently, she doesn't even know what that's for. Can I have it, please?
I do have the link to the military products. I think that civilians
guys.
can use. And I'm putting
Say
that
bye.
in the chat.
You need to do the edible crayons.
No, that's like the smelling version. It's not the.
I'll also put it in the Veteran Nation group as well. So if people are interested in watching that video.
Hi, guys.
Hi, baby squid. You should put the CREs on your merch site. The crayons ready to eat.
The problem is I don't have the company. There we go. So if you guys, they're in the chat. I've got the link on equipment and things the military uses that you should. You can watch that video, or it's also in the Veteran Nation group on Facebook. Let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts, because I can do more videos like that.
It's good for experience if anybody is caught short away from home, and it's as though that there is guidance on what you can have on a minimum scale, but is worthy for survival, sort of thing.
Yeah, the problem with those is they are labor intensive to put them together, and unless if I'm building the products myself, then it's not really profitable. And but for again, it come back to what do people want in it? There's companies out there that put those together. I've seen some of them that are crap, in my opinion, but I don't know what people want, and I'm not a big survivalist, so I guess that's probably why my passion for it is not there. Like I'll put stuff together that I'm like, okay, I know people want this, or like in the thing of the board game, I'm putting the board game because I think that's important for education, for people to understand how the VA works. So that's why I'm doing that.
See, with your rocks, Mike, is there like big enough rocks where you could make a lamp out of it?
Say that again.
I'm saying with your rocks, big enough where you could possibly make a lamp out of it.
Yeah, there's some out there. You just need the tools to be able to do it.
I was just curious. Another question that popped into my head. Don't ask me where these questions. Well, I do know where these questions are coming from.
There's a lot of people that deal in crystals out here, and crystals are, I would say, are easier. But some rocks, are definitely malleable enough.
I see a beautiful blue one, a beautiful blue crystal made into a lamp.
I do need to wrap this up because I have to get going.
You have an awesome day, Mike. Have an awesome
thank you.
day, everybody. Hi,
Thank you
Georgie,
for
by the
joining
way.
me. Everyone
Hi,
go
Musi.
to the Musi Lady. Also, George's channel is the Wilburns. Musi Lady is Musi Lady Wise Oracle. Subscribe to their channels. If you do want to just donate to the race, you can go to veterannationfoundation.com. The site does take straight donations, but I am creating a thing that people will be able to sponsor a runner, and it looks like about $25 is going to be the cost for a runner to run. But we're going to set all that up in the next several weeks. So, but thank you everyone for being here. You all have a great day, and as usual, thank you for being worth serving.
Thank you for having me.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakening at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, on just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, on just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. America's awakened to lighten her load.